Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. Thank you for joining us again. This is what the show looks like. We're starting off with great news coming from the world of table tennis, where Arna Quadri has risen to number 13th in the world following his historic run at the World Table Tennis Championships in Texas.
Great one for Harden or Quadri. Keep breaking new grounds. Also on the program, Newcastle, despite all the money they've spent and having a new coach at the helm of affairs, they're still winless this season.
That was following a late Timo Pukki goal to deny Newcastle all 3 points last night in their game against Norwich City. So the wait continues for Newcastle and Eddie Howe to get the first victory in the Premier League. Also on the program in the NBA this time around, where it's 17 straight wins for the Phoenix Suns. They've now tied the franchise record after they defeated the Golden State Warriors early this morning.
They're now tied on 18-3. Okay, the Warriors had the best record, but right now the Suns caught up with them.
Wow.
And that's how we're starting the show this morning, but not with the game between the Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. Of course, other results coming from the NBA because the likes of Lakers and the Nets were also in action. The LA Lakers seems to be bouncing back pretty good.
Yeah, well, you can say that again. Not convinced just yet. But a good one for the Lakers. Let's start off with the derby between the Nets and the Knicks. That's the New York derby. Ended 112 to 110 in favor of the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant and James Harden very instrumental in that victory. It's one of our featured games of the show, so we'll come back to it shortly. Elsewhere, the Raptors lost against the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson scoring 25 points, Desmond Bain scoring 23, while Dillon Brooks added 17 in the victory for the Memphis Grizzlies without their star point guard, Ja Morant. The Suns and the Warriors, the matchup of the best two sides in the NBA, did not disappoint. It was box office as advertised. We thoroughly enjoyed that one. By the end of 4 quarters, it was the Phoenix Suns that prevailed 104 to 96. That was the second feature match of the show, so we'll come back to that as well. There were also victories for the Blazers, 110 to 92 over the Detroit Pistons. C.J. McCollum leading all scorers with 28 points for the Blazers, who snapped a 3-game losing streak. Portland has now won 10 straight at home for the first time since 2009. And last but not the least, the Lakers from LA defeated the Sacramento Kings 117 to 92. Anthony Davis, 25 points. Russell Westbrook, 23 for LA in that victory as they overcame the Kings without LeBron James. We'll come back to this shortly later on, Cecilia, but let's start off with the Suns and the Warriors. What a game it was, Cecilia. As we advertised, or as it was advertised, that we're in for a very fantastic matchup, and that's exactly how it panned out between these two sides. DeAndre Ayton was the star of the show for the Suns, 24 points. Chris Paul, 15 points and 11 assists, as the Suns won their 17th straight win, 17th straight game. This time was against the Golden State Warriors. Phoenix won despite losing Devin Booker to a left hamstring injury in the second quarter. He had 10 points and 2 rebounds in 15 minutes.
Yeah, a crazy game it was for the Warriors, I would say, because they have about 23 turnovers. I mean, the pressure that the Phoenix Suns had on them, we always talk about your defense, how can you really carry it on, and that's what actually worked out for the Phoenix Suns. If not that, but I think, and Steph Curry, I mean, on the night, it was reduced so much. I mean, they finished the game with only 12 points, and Draymond Green had 8 respectively. But I think that turnovers that they had was what really got them down, because Chris Paul, I mean, having 5 steals already, I think the pressure that was on Steph Curry was so much that, I mean, most of the turnovers were actually, as a result of the pressure from the defense of the Phoenix Suns. At the end of the day, they just had to, take advantage of that and get all the scorings. Paul George, as I mentioned earlier, Chris Paul having 5 steals, and Michael Bridges also registering 4 steals, taking that turnovers that they couldn't just make result out of. But then it simply now means that both teams are 18-3, to start the season. The best record you have in the NBA, shared by the Suns and also the Warriors.
It was a very competitive game. Cecilia tied. Suns are leading 56-54 at halftime, 80-78 going into the fourth quarter. Game stayed tight, and neither team led by double digits until Landry Shamet knocked out a 3-pointer with just 54.4 seconds left on the clock. And that's how the Phoenix Suns were able to go on and seal that very impressive victory. Jordan Poole led the Golden State Warriors with 28 points. And Cecilia was talking about Steph Curry with just 12 points. He shot 4 of 21 from the field. That is totally abysmal. But we know Curry is a lot better than that. As a matter of fact, 1, 2, 3 quarters, he was stuck on about 14, 11 points, and we're waiting for Curry to get hot, perhaps in the fourth quarter. Didn't pan out that way.
Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton was just only more through the game. He didn't have opportunity at all.
Yeah, man, boy, he took a shot, 21 shots. That's a lot to take in a basketball game, and to make just 4 out of it, it's not good enough. And that's the main reason why the Golden State Warriors have lost that matchup against the Phoenix Suns. Let's take a look at the points totals. All of the guys that stood out for their teams between the Warriors and the Suns. Jordan Poole, like I said, 28 points. Steph Curry, 12 points, 4 of 21 field goal attempts. Andrew Wiggins tried his best at 10 points. Otto Porter Jr., 16 points from the bench. While for the Suns was DeAndre with 24 points. Chris Paul, 15 points. Jay Crowder, big shots in the fourth quarter, ended up with 14 points. And Devin Booker, like I said as well, 10 points before exiting the game in the second quarter with a left hamstring injury. So there you go. The Phoenix Suns will have the bragging rights for now as we continue the rest of the NBA season. They will look to get a franchise record 18th win in a row when they take on, I think they're taking on the Detroit Pistons. That's going to be on Thursday. We all know how that's about to end. Barring any unforeseen situation, you expect the Phoenix Suns to defeat the Detroit Pistons.
Even
one
if
of the worst
even
teams.
if they don't have
even without
Devin Booker coming
returning
because of how the team is. I mean, that's more like a string putting them together, and that's why they're streaking so well. All right, we're leaving the Suns now and quickly go to the derby that Tyler mentioned earlier, the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks, the two New York teams having a good run on the night. But then, of course, Brooklyn Nets came out tough because James Harden has his third 3-point game for the season. He finished with 30-point game of the season. He had 34 points, and Brooklyn Nets, of course, won that one, 112 and 110. He also had a double-double with 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. So more like the game he needed so well. And, of course, he had a whole lot of contributions. Of course, Kevin Durant had 27 points, also including 9 assists in the game.
Fantastic performance coming from KD and the Beard. Both players taking turns to put on the show in front of the largest crowd to ever watch a Nets game in Brooklyn. 18,081 fans showed up to watch that game. Of course, there was a lot of New York Knicks fans in the house as well too. So, but despite the fact that KD and the Beard were the star of the show, the Nets needed to win this game, or they needed 2 late free throws from James Johnson with 2 points, 2 seconds left to earn this 2-point victory over the New York Knicks. For the Knicks, Alec Burks scored a season-high 25 points in his new role as a starting point guard for New York. That's because Kemba Walker has been taken out of the rotation totally now. Julius Randle added 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists in the losing effort. James Harden and Kevin Durant have been speaking following that 2-point victory over their neighbors. James Harden obviously playing with a chip on his shoulders. A lot of people have been wondering, where's the James Harden we got to know at the Houston Rockets? And it is safe to say this morning against the Knicks was one of his best performances, his best performances for the Brooklyn Nets, and that's why he's our top performer for today. 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. So good win for the for the Brooklyn Nets in that one. All right, so that's it for basketball for the NBA for now. Let's quickly go to the golf course and give you updates on Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, recall, had that terrible car crash, life-threatening, must be said. But Tiger is on the mend now, and a lot of fans are glad about that. But then if you're thinking Tiger Woods is going to be coming back to playing full-time golf, I've got a message for you. Tiger's got a message for you on that front. Let's take a listen to Tiger Woods updating us on his future in golf. Tiger Woods, 15-time major, effectively ruling out a full-time return to the PGA Tour, which is a bit of a shame. But life is all that really matters. The fact that Tiger Woods can actually walk on his legs again, just after that horrific car crash. He actually feared they were going to amputate his legs.
At a point in time.
So the fact that he's been able to make a full recovery, and he's also talked about how he's not getting any younger. So obviously our recovery is a lot slower.
Yeah, slower compared to when he was in his early 30s and all. So, but at the end of the day, I think something he said, I felt, okay, maybe we might just see this 45-year-old man at the British Opens, because he said he would love to be there, but we don't know how many tournaments he will be playing in a year, because he's talking about maybe a part-time golf now, not full-time. Maybe he's going to target the majors, maybe play 2 warm-up PGA tournaments, and then play the majors. Maybe you can have him 3 or 4. And he also mentioned about his family too. I mean, he has to take his family into consideration. He wouldn't want to be traveling all around and just leaving them like he did earlier, in his career. The kids are growing up, and so he also needs to be with them. But at the end of the day, we're just happy to have Tiger Woods coming back, after a long time. That's more important than any other thing, because him coming back, is a plus to the world of golf, because that injury, I mean, that accident, seeing the incidents and the way the car crashed and everything, you're like, okay, can this man ever, be on golf course again? But then it's been since February, so this is December, and this is back now.
I think Tiger's already made his mark. He's made his mark already. He's an absolute legend of the sport. So even if he doesn't play full-time again, if he doesn't win any other major before it's all said and done, I won't take anything away from the fact that he's one of the greatest of all time. So only Jack Nicklaus has won more majors than Tiger Woods, I believe. So it's just good to see him, back and, just healthy. That's all that really matters for Tiger Woods. And like I said, Cecilia, he's gotten to a stage in his career now where he's going to have to choose and pick where he plays. Just like we're seeing the older dudes are doing in tennis. Roger Federer has been doing that a lot as well, so they can't play, all of these tournaments again. So fingers crossed that we'll see where Tiger Woods return to competitive golf. We'll continue to monitor the situation, and as soon as he makes up his mind on that, you'll be the first to know on Sports this morning. Tiger's literally got 9 lives, the big task. It is awesome.
He's not called Tiger for nothing. Okay, now let's talk about the Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier. Nigeria will be playing DR Congo this week, and of course the coach, Christopher Danjuma, will be joining us on the program from Abuja to tell us what they're actually doing right now, their preparations, and of course when they will be leaving for DR Congo, if the girls are really ready. The news reaching us is the fact that a team like Gabon have actually pulled out of the qualifiers, and Cameroon, of course, straight into the 4th round of qualifiers. We're waiting for Falcons to see how many games they will be able to, how far they will go. But then we understand that usually they qualify. At the weekend, they had their warm-up game against AS Roma. AS Roma is an academy, so not the real AS Roma. So put it into perspective, a team AS Roma is a female team, in Abuja that they played against at the weekend. That ended 1-0. Of course, the girls were really happy. But the coach, Christopher Danjuma, is joining us this morning from Abuja. Good morning, coach. It's good to have you.
Good morning. Good to be on your program.
So tell us what's happening in camp. When are the girls? when are the girls traveling? And of course, how are you looking forward to the game against DR Congo?
Yeah, a correction. AS Roma is under 15 boys team. It's not a female team.
Okay, okay.
And yeah, it's a 15 boys team. And they gave us a good fight. When we play against male team, what we normally try, the objective is to develop the speed and the strength of our players and to see how we can stand against them. And from our tactical preparation, I think the girls did absolutely well. Came from a goal down to equalize. And okay, about preparation for the match in Congo, we've been here for a couple of days, which has done us very good. And everybody's in high spirit. The ultimate is to qualify first for the World Cup. Then we see how it goes from there. But it has to go again that we're going to play DR Congo. That is what we're looking forward to. High spirit in camp, everybody ready to go.
Okay, Coach, we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be asking you when the team will be traveling. Yeah, we still have Coach Christopher Danjuma with us this morning, telling us update from the under-20 women's team. That's the Falconets. They'll be taking on DR Congo this weekend for the FIFA Women's Under-20 World Cup qualifiers. That's just the second round. The third round they're playing, they still have more games to play before they can book a ticket. Coach, when will the team be traveling? And the girls you have in camp right now, I know some other new players actually joined, for the training. You say you've been in camp for a long time. When will they be traveling? And the players you intend to use for to prosecute the game?
Thank you very much. We hopefully know we should be leaving tomorrow for DR Congo at about 5 p.m. in the evening to arrive Congo, I think, the next day. And the camp, we have invited new players. Two players have joined us. We have Juliet from Albion Rovers in Britain, and we have one from Lakeside, and they are featured well into the team, and I know that they are bringing a lot to the table.
Okay. All right, Coach, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Okay. I think Ty's got a question for you quickly before we let you go.
Just before we let you go, Coach,
Yes.
what is the approach you're going to be like against Congo, considering that you're going away first?
Yes. I think our approach has always been go for the away match. Make sure you do well by winning well and make the whole match a formality. That's just the approach. Make the away match like it's the final match to play, then come home and just make sure it's a wrapping thing. That's our approach.
All right, I think that's a very good way to approach situations like this. We wish you all the best in that game against the Congo on the 20 side. Hopefully you can get the victory and come back and make the second leg formality like you are planning. Thank you very much, Coach. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so that was the coach of the Falconets, Christopher Danjuma, giving us updates concerning their preparations for the qualifiers against Congo under 20. We're not three in the studio now. That's because Demola Ogunbono has now joined us, and together we'll be talking about all of the amazing stories across the world of sports this morning. Demola, good morning.
Good morning, Tyler.
Always great to have you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Sisi, and good to be back here again talking sport.
Awesome. Nigeria-Congo. I mean, usually Nigeria-Congo when it comes to women's football, there is, just one result, really. Or am I being too...
Tyler, I think...
What's the word now? Am I underrating the Congolese?
The truth of the matter is, when it comes to football in Africa now, you cannot underestimate anybody. I wouldn't say that we've been stagnant, as a footballing nation when it comes to our female. But the truth is, other African countries are, catching up pretty fast as well.
True.
The Falcons, for example. But I want to believe that with the caliber of players we have in our leagues here, and we are made of sterner stuff. So I expect that, yes, nothing less than a victory. But we're going away. Yeah. So that's the situation. But I still expect the girls to come up with the goods.
Yeah, I get what you're saying when you say Teams are catching up fast. South Africa, we've seen, I think they're the most obvious example. The national team is doing well,
yes,
the club size is doing well. They won the maiden edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. Morocco as well, too. They're no slouch at this point in time.
True.
But it's Congo. Congo, a good team as well, too. But come on, it's Congo and it's Nigeria.
They took out Egypt, remember?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said they're a good side.
And like I mentioned, we are playing away from home, so anything is, can happen. But you still expect that our girls will go there and get the job done. But it won't be a walk on the park for them, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're looking at what they did against the Central African Republic, they went away, they won 4-0, they came back here, and then they won 7-0 at the end of the day. It was a resounding victory for the girls. Maybe they also do that, as the coach mentioned. I mean, his target is go away from home and win your game, and then when you come back here and consolidate, the return leg obviously it's going to be in Lagos, so you get to see them in action again, just scoring all of the goals. Messi, Doku, remember how she got those goals for herself.
Oh, there you go. What a celebration as well.
One of the goals right there.
All right. Okay, let's leave the Falconets. Still talking women's football. Cecilia, I don't know why you are excited to talk about this one as England.
When you hear people telling you that you don't have minnows in football anymore, I tell you, look, you do. I mean, most people keep talking about it, especially when you have, for instance, Super Eagles is playing again. Yeah,
it's not really real.
It's not real because there are obviously minnows, and that's what happened again between England and Latvia. I don't know how you beat a team 20-0. The last time I heard something like this was 2002 World Cup qualifiers when Australia beat Samoa 31-0 thereabouts.
These same opponents were beaten 10-0 by the Lionesses, weeks ago.
And then 20. They doubled it. So, I mean, when you see a result like this, then you can easily agree that when you have a team that you can beat, well, just try and make the records. I mean, that's what England, that's what it did.
Four players scored a hat-trick, last night. Yes. A substitute came in. Yeah.
Surely that's a record.
It is, absolutely.
Ellen White, for instance, now happens to be the highest goal scorer for England.
Yes.
I mean, 48 goals. She got a hat-trick here.
Yesterday.
In 101 caps. So Kelly Smith happens to be,
the previous
one. So now 2 goals over her because they played against a team like Latvia and she had the opportunity to just make the record. So that's what we're saying. Fine, yes, I know you can't beat teams so much, but hey, we know this same England in 2005 beating Hungary by 13-0.
Yes.
So now it's going up. If you have the opportunity, just do what you can do.
It reminds me of the men's game as well, where Harry Kane was practically begging the coach, please let me play this next match, because there were minnows and they wanted to, pile up the numbers, as per goal scoring. Yeah, and he scored. So
look at that. Oh, man, it's like, no,
it can't happen. I mean, 53 goals in qualifiers campaign for the 2023 World Cup.
Massive.
That's England right now.
Massive.
53 goals for the qualifiers. And so they're topping their groups with 18 points from 6 games. Now, 6 games they played.
And 4 to go.
I mean,
that says
4 more to go.
The Lionesses are very dominant when it comes to women's football in Europe. Let's take post-match reactions coming from that one. Very interesting points of view coming from Weigman. Cecilia, I mean, in school you can score 25 goals, but then she goes on to admit that it's not good for the development of the game.
I totally agree with that.
I agree as well.
But then you have to beat who is in front of you. I mean, Latvia was in front of you.
The reason why she's saying it is because they're talking about having more countries playing football. Now, when you beaten, I mean, Latvia, for instance, in the last 5 matches, they've conceded 46 goals.
We know they're not the strongest. We know they are not the strongest when it comes to female football. We know they're not the strongest.
But then, I think maybe every country will have to see how they can develop their own football. So you don't start conceding 20, 30 against a team.
It's bogus.
I think that's what she's trying to say. Everyone have to develop their own team to a certain extent, where you don't have that. Or maybe the very best team will play.
That's just,
so it's easier.
That's it. Or Latvia should not be in a situation, in a position to be playing England.
England, for instance.
Maybe
they'll have to select the lower-ranked teams to play against each other. Then the best team move up to the next round of qualifiers.
Yes, I think that's a better idea than
carry on.
Yeah.
Because I mean, seeing them being walloped, as it is, it's totally, it's morally they'll be devastated, no doubt.
Absolutely, yeah. They don't want to play again.
No,
They don't want to. They don't want to. Goals. I had this conversation as well too after Hurricane and England did what they did to San Marino as well. So San Marino shouldn't be playing at this level.
They shouldn't.
You know, Europe, UEFA should definitely look into that, because I think it's even more counterproductive to be on the end of scorelines like this in terms of developing their football.
Maybe there's a flip side to this.
Yeah,
these guys still want to go out there, rub shoulders with the biggest boys, see them come and play in their own country as well.
Yeah.
You know, because in the grand scheme of things, of course, letting in goals, like baskets here, is not ideal. But at the end of the day, I think FIFA is just trying to give everybody a certain leverage, that, okay, football is all-inclusive and not just,
I get that.
But the point we're making is, why not let them play against each other
first?
See
then
their
the best,
teams,
yes,
then the best will now come
go
up
up to a certain level.
Yes. I think
yes.
that's what I think. So you have maybe, if Latvia can't get up to this stage, it's fine. But you have a stronger team that are better. Then with time, they grow into it and then start playing.
Valid point.
Yeah, but then...
It is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah,
We're living women's football now. We can talk. I don't know, Quadri, he's making history. Just how many days after he got the quarterfinals of the ITTF Table Tennis World Cup, he is now ranked number 13 in the world. Yes, not in Africa. Number 13 in the world. Now, that's Harden or Quadri we were talking about. We ever had an African ranked that high? No, and never. So he was ranked 17 going into this tournament, and because of his good run, if not for this Trues. Why did you do this? Okay, he did it, and of course, I know countries are ranked 13 in the world. That's a good news.
It is absolutely for Arno Quadri, one of Africa's best. He has that opportunity to make some other amends. I think there's a competition coming up in Singapore.
Yeah, in Singapore, yeah.
December 4th to 7th, and he gets to go and play there as well and show the kind of stuff he's made of. Sadly, he had to lose to a 19-year-old, but even he admitted that it was a very good game. The 19-year-old was very good, well worth his win. So going forward, I think it's going to motivate, like Arno said himself, other kids from Africa, from Nigeria, to go on there and play the game, enjoy themselves, and make a name for themselves and for their country as well.
Which is great. And talking about the 19-year-old, he went into this tournament ranked 77, and now he's 31 in the world.
Wow,
courtesy of the fact that beating players higher ranked than him, and also he got to the finals, losing to world #1 Zandong Fan. When you're playing against Zandong Fan, you obviously know that it's going to find you out of it. You know the result of that. So he's now ranked 31 in the world in the current ranking. So congratulations to Arno Quadri.
So many records. Quadri keeps breaking them, breaking new grounds. First quarterfinalist from the continent at the Olympics, quarterfinalist at the World Table Tennis Championship as well too. And it's just interesting to see where Arno actually can get eventually before it's all said and done. Because it's come close on a few occasions.
It's coming up 5th year. It's not bad in the world. And
we just felt it could have gone, one better against the 19-year-old, who's a prodigy, must be said. So I kind of see.
It's a tough sport.
Hey, come on, this 19-year-old took at him a ball. So when you see that, it tells you that he's a talented, he's a talented tennis player. Okay, Arno Quadri has been talking about this. He said something about the fact that he's really excited, to improve. Okay, he said, I'm excited to improve my world ranking, and this means I must work hard to remain on top in the world. This is another task I must face in my career, and I will not relent to do my best as I look forward to the WTTF Cup finals taking place this weekend in Singapore. That's from the 4th to 7th. That's when that is taking place. So world number 13, Arno Quadri. Great one. Okay.
All right, onwards and upwards.
Yes.
For Arno Quadri. All right, there. See that? Let's go to the Amputee Nations Cup. We're done with table tennis stuff now. Not great news are coming from that front.
At all. Nigeria, they're out because why? The first game against Egypt ended goalless. And remember, they arrived on a Sunday. They played the next day. And of course, and against Ghana beating Nigeria 4-0. Tayo mentioned the fact that Ghana beating Egypt 3-0 and we drew against Egypt. It simply means Ghana were going to beat Nigeria. And of course, they did. So, just out at the group stage.
I don't know why we always have a issue with our preparations going for tournaments such as this. Remember, was it Rivers Angels as well of recent? Where
Rivers Angels was even different. At least they had something going for. This one, they didn't even have where to train.
Come on.
I mean, they had to do a
and you expect them to go there and perform wonders?
Before the ministry had to come to their aid and everything. And some of their players are supposed to join them, the foreign-based players, couldn't even join.
I'm not sure. Do they have a ministry handling the situation here?
They didn't even have any.
Why were they left to themselves? I don't get it.
It's Nigeria, And Ghana, I learned that Ghana, most of their players came in from Japan. They had their players who, because of that last World Cup, who went abroad to play professional football.
Wow.
And so they came. I mean...
And the difference will always show.
Of course, Nigeria didn't have any. Preparations was even a problem. So we're talking about the ones here just having them. But then it is what it is. So if we really want to take it seriously, we should. If we don't, then we shouldn't play it. But I think it's good to actually give these men opportunities to really
absolutely.
play. Because they want to play football.
It's
so you have to give them the opportunity to play.
Look at,
Yeah.
It's a bit of a, it's quite a shame, I have to say, Cecilia, because these guys are, they're not playing on a level playing ground.
Not at all.
Against their opposition.
It shows their strength.
The stakes are so high.
Yeah, because, I mean, look, all the things.
And all they need is their support.
They go through a lot in terms of preparations and in terms of everything, really, to play these competitions. And they're going up against a better prepared side mentally as well. And you don't expect, I wasn't expecting much from the players, to be very, very honest, which is quite a shame.
I remember the last time they got to the finals, right?
Yeah, so that tells the story. So last time we thought things were going to improve, but guess what? Things are actually gotten worse now, because now
50 steps back.
There, or more.
More.
So, yeah, it is a shame.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what to say about this again. We keep hoping that one day the authorities,
we'll get it right.
We'll get it right. Put the house in order, and so
just a little
so
care.
sport can thrive.
If you care a lot, if you really care
the talents
about
are there.
about those who are playing the game, you definitely want to help them the best way you can. Let's leave this and stop, let's just talk about something that will make us a little bit happy, because right now, Egypt, Tunisia, Mauritania, they actually play in the Arab Cup. And today we'll be talking about Egypt because they won their game against Mauritania. But the news is this. At the Nations Cup, well, I don't know, Nigeria just have to be careful, because having these teams playing tournaments before the Nations Cup starting January 9th is a whole lot, Tayo. Tunisia beating Mauritania 5-1 the Arab Cup, but then that was on Tuesday. Goes from, the players you expect. And then if they're playing this tournament right now, I'm like, okay, most of the players are playing in the Arab League, so it's easier for them, and some are playing at home to just put them together. So even Egypt, if they don't have a Mo Salah, for instance, they won't care. And of course, Tunisia don't have their top players, they won't care. Algeria also don't have their top players, they won't care, because they've got a crop of players that can also...
And the truth is, the players playing abroad can only just come and complement them. I mean, what they have going forward now, it's going to be... See, if they take this kind of form into the Nations Cup, cohesiveness.
How do you beat that?
How do you beat them?
Understanding has been there, cohesiveness has been there. They've been training together. So you don't just wake up in the morning and get that, or you buy that from the market. Now you have to earn it. And this is what these guys are doing and putting. So
I mean, look at the goals they're scoring. You see a lot of teamwork in a lot of the goals we've seen so far.
And Tunisia, a very decent side. Very, very good footballing nation as well.
2 goals each from Savina, Jaziri, Mohamed Ben Abi. And of course, you also have another one coming from Yusuf Maskini. All of them just giving a good start for Tunisia. Or in Group B, you also have Syria in that same group. So let's see how these guys will come up in Nations Cup. Now, remember, Qatar will be hosting the 2022 World Cup, and this Arab League is being hosted in Qatar. And FIFA President Gianni Infantino was there for the opening ceremony. 16 teams from the Arab nation are taking part in this tournament. That's how big it is. But we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking the English Premier League. The Merseyside derby is up today. Everton not in the greatest of form at all this season. All right, time to talk about the English Premier League. Just last night, you had the game between Newcastle and Norwich City. Newcastle got new owners, and we're thinking, okay, the money is going to come in. A new coach is coming, Eddie Howe, but somehow it doesn't really know how he can, make Newcastle start winning. Because right now, they're yet to win a game. As bad as Norwich City is, they've been on the rise a little bit right now. So Newcastle happens to be the only team in the EPL this season that haven't won a game. They could have won this, but somehow, maybe there's something, a jinx or a curse or something somewhere. They just Pukki had to tell them that, look, you can't get all 3 points. We have to share the spoils, and that's what they did.
Not today.
So, Sisi, you're saying Eddie Howe doesn't know how?
Doesn't know how. I mean, to get them out of your predicament.
That's
the way it is, yeah.
I
think Eddie Howe is a decent coach.
He is.
Now, we can say if Newcastle has decent players enough. Yes, the money has come in now, but the window opens until January.
Yeah.
I know for sure that they're going to get a couple of players.
Yeah, but
so maybe they should have left the coach to continue. Then January, when they buy new players, they bring another coach.
I don't think so. I think he has to go.
You've sacked the coach already. Getting the result, you're yet to win.
Our place have become untenable.
It has become untenable,
The
yes.
fans didn't want him, neither did the owners.
Yes.
So, anyways, back to the game. You watched it, and Callum Wilson giving Newcastle the lead. But Timo Pukki with that late stunning
I don't know what that defender was doing, pulling, honestly, I don't know what he was on last night. Maybe was rush of blood to the head because
probably
you could have still chased.
And I was a covering defender as well.
Yeah, so why pulling that?
Right?
It was a cynical foul, and then
10 men
under
in the
much
situation
pressure.
are.
But you could see the players fighting and all, wanting to go for it. And I'm sure now there's been talk about, at this point of the season, you haven't won, a match, and they haven't seen any team, who have been down at this stage of the season and survived. But I think with the money coming into Newcastle and the kind of players they're going to get in January, I think they might just, turn
the table around.
I think they will, because if you look at the point on the table between the last 4 teams,
it's so
close.
Bunched.
So I think they can make something out of it. And with Eddie Howe in charge, getting new players in, I think they can still pull something, before the end of the season. But then it's going to be difficult. But I think the players are committed and they want to impress and they want to be part of the new regime of Arab money coming into Newcastle. So we'll see how it goes for Newcastle. Interesting game last night, by the way.
Indeed. All right, so Newcastle, we're going to have to try again some other time for the first win of the season.
7 points from 14 games.
Terrible.
Wow, terrible.
All right, today is the Merseyside derby, of course, between Liverpool and Everton. And based on what we've seen so far this season, you'd say the Reds might just be getting our 3 points. Well, it's a derby form out of the window, but not this kind of situation, because Everton have been dire for the last few games now. I can't remember the last time they won a game. So how do you see this one panning out? Liverpool, Everton.
They always say that when it's a derby, form goes out the window.
Is that going to be the case?
No, I don't think so, because
7-match winless run.
Yes, and they've lost 5, drawn 2, and they haven't won anything in the last 7 matches.
Oh, good.
On the other side, Liverpool have been, brilliant.
Record-breaking attack.
They've been smashing everything placed in front of them. I think in 19 wins now and just 1 loss or thereabouts. Brilliant record. And they are like a wrecking ball now, Liverpool. Anything in front of them, they're smashing through. It's going to be difficult for Everton, but I think Everton haven't lost against Liverpool now the last 3 matches. They've won 1, drawn 2.
And that was
went to Anfield and won.
Remember?
Yes.
So?
And now, with the former Liverpool manager, Rafa Benitez, coaching Everton now, it's going to be a dicey situation. Are we going to see Liverpool fans coming in and, ranting or shouting against Benitez?
Yeah, they just welcome him. I'm not sure.
Would they welcome him, saying that he won them the Champions League before and, they played decent football under his management? But then football, things can turn quickly. And derby night is going to be interesting.
Depending on how the game is panning out.
It is going to be interesting.
All right, so we'll see how that game unfolds at Goodison Park later today between Everton and Liverpool. All right, Cecilia.
Going to be a cracker. You have other games for today, of course. Aston Villa will be up against Manchester City. And, of course, you know what Villa has been doing so far.
2 wins out of 2.
2 wins out of 2. You just say
Steven
100%
G.
record for Steven Gerrard. Now, it's going to be up against Pep Guardiola. And Manchester City have actually complained about not having a crop of their players right now. Laporte will not be playing.
They shouldn't complain.
Ryan Sterling is not there. There's so many players. So right now, they're short-handed. So Arsenal will be playing against the short-handed Manchester City.
No excuses.
When you have those players not playing.
What players?
Laporte is not playing.
No
Kevin De Bruyne is not playing. Okay.
City.
Yeah,
Man City shouldn't be.
City have a replacement for every
But their first 11 right now, you have just about 3 or 4 players fit from their first 11.
City have the first 11.
Their bench will be the envy of any other Premiership team in England. What are we talking?
So you guys are not trying to cut some slacks for them?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think it's going to be an interesting game. Stevie G doing wonders for Aston Villa for a start. Yes, it's early times, but he has shown signs that he has learnt something from Scotland coming into the English Premiership, which is a different ballgame entirely. But then seeing a club who have gone 5-game, winless, and then you come turn to the run, win 2 matches, on the bounce, good for Aston Villa. And then the man they sold to Manchester City.
Okay.
Jack Grealish, he's been out injured. I think he's going to be back. He has said that if he scored against his team, he wouldn't. His former team rather, he's not going to celebrate, and he still hopes to make it back to Aston Villa someday soon.
Retirement, right?
I wouldn't say that. Aston Villa, a club close to his heart. He's been a bold fan and captain of the club before being sold to Manchester City for good money, I must say. And yes, I expect to see him play today. Maybe not, because he's just coming back.
He's coming back from injury. So
Manchester City, they have to be wary as well, because I think Aston Villa have really improved on that.
Turned the results around under Steven Gerrard. Another game to also look forward to is Watford and Chelsea. That could just go one way because of what happened to Watford against Leicester City. Leicester City literally tore them apart. Emmanuel Dennis tried his best. But then when you're having your central defender, someone like Troost Ekong, somehow... yes, he's a Nigerian. Yes, we understand that. But then he was woeful against Leicester City. And I don't know if he's going to start this game. But then his replacement usually is injured, right? Still injured, out injured. So, Claudio Ranieri has no choice. He's still also going to feature him. But he needs to be careful. Because against Chelsea, rampant Chelsea, after a frustrating draw against Manchester United at the weekend, obviously will come out firing. And Lukaku, of course, is back.
So, Demola.
Yes.
Cecilia was talking about City missing a few players and stuff. Watford are going to be missing Sarr. Dennis got injured as well too. So that's a team that should be complaining they're missing a couple of the players.
Yes, Dennis has been scoring goals for Watford,
5 goals
which
and 5
is good.
assists.
The same for Sarr as well, 5 goals as well.
That's big misses.
Their win against United, I don't think was a fluke.
No,
Manchester City will be, they'll be. Chelsea rather.
Yeah.
They'll be wary because they know that Liverpool is right, on their heels in the table, and if Liverpool get that win and expect that by some, stroke of luck or genius, Watford and Leicester coach, former Leicester coach, what's his name now, Ranieri, he has ways of matches like this pulling something out of the hat. So they have to be careful, Chelsea, or else see. Liverpool close that gap, and then the heat will really be on.
All right. Time to take a look at the papers now. We just have like 2 minutes to lead you to, or maybe 1 minute. Okay, I'll start with the Sporting Sun that says, the Sporting Sun, yes, that's what I'm starting with. Sporting Sun, Revenant rejects Super Eagles' job. Was he really on offer before? Well, we don't know. Osimhen will bounce back to shine at AFCON. That's according to Odio Igalo. Yes, we want him to be there. And visa delays Rannick Manchester rival. That's according to Sporting Sun. Okay.
All right, on Sporting Life, quickly, Chukwueze scores again. Yeah. It's good to see the young man playing well. Ferguson values Aribo at over 5.4 billion naira. Which Ferguson is this one? You're going to have to check out Sporting Life rates.
Ferguson. Okay, Sporting, Complete Sport is the last one. Raw's a wrong shepherd. Okay, Raw is a wrong shepherd, manning good shape.
Who's that?
Okay. That's a former Nigeria winger, Owolabi. Owolabi is the one that's saying it. He wants Tuchel to replace this Lampard. Okay. All right. I think they're trying to play on something here. So they need another coach. That's according to Owolabi says he's a wrong shepherd, manning good shape.
So
that's what you have
pretty much comparing. What's it called?
Yeah, Lampard.
Lampard and
Tuchel.
Rod.
So yeah, and Lampard and Rod. Yeah, that's what they're doing, and so they want someone like a Tuchel,
right?
Yeah, they want Tuchel to actually take over the Super Eagles because
Not
of the squad that they.
Nigeria's own Tuchel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Demola, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
All right, thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a great day.